Okay, so I've opened up a new project which is 20 by 20 millimeters, and I'm going to make a complicated motif. So the paint bucket may be hiding behind a gradient tool. That could be what's showing. To find the tools, you just right click and choose the paint bucket. Whatever tool you're using will be dark grey, so you know what you're on. Okay, to fill with colour, you choose your colours over here. So I am going to choose a pink and get the fill bucket and then fill this whole area. So I'm going to try and make a complicated motif. Remember, tools are hiding behind each other. So we can get the rectangle tool if we go underneath. I'm just going to draw myself a rectangle and then use the move tool to centralize it. Oh, sorry. I don't need to use the move tool. So we'll just use the rectangle tool, and then the crosshair will allow you to move it. And when it's central, you'll get a red line, a red vertical line appearing. So I know that that's in the middle. I'm going to fill this with another colour. Let's choose one that strongly contrasts. I've just undone my selection because I wasn't on the fill bucket tool. So make sure you're on the tool that you want to be on. So I'm just going to deselect that, and then I'm going to draw a circle on top of that. You can use any combination of ideas that you would like to use. It's up to you where you want to do this. So I've drawn the circle, and then I'm just going to use the move tool to centralize it. So it is central because I've got a vertical and horizontal line there. And I might choose a very pale yellow colour for here. Something like that. So the choice of colours is yours. I did it again. Let's just go back to undo. I deselected because I wasn't on the paint bucket. And it will just fill the colour that you click on. So to get the others, you just click on those sections too. So I'm going to do a select, deselect, and then I think I will put a thin stripe going across it. So I'm going to get the rectangle tool and fill. So you experiment and explore and see what you can come up with. So that's central now. I might choose a dark colour for this to make some contrast. The same thing again. Keep making the same mistake. Let's get myself the paint bucket and we'll fill in these areas. So I'm going to have to click also on those sections there. If it doesn't work with the fill bucket because you have to click on exactly the right thing, you can just get a paintbrush and paint within that area because it's selected. Okay, so now I can do select, deselect. I do actually think I want to put a circle in the centre of that again on top of that. So I am going to draw myself a circle. The reason why I can draw a circle is because I've got it on a fixed ratio. If it's on free, you could draw something like an oval, or you could fix a size if you want to do the same thing over and over. Fixed ratio just means it will draw it as a circle. So now I'm just going to move that to be central. And I think maybe a pink colour again would look good. Another version of pink. So I'm going to fill that in. Same mistake again. Make sure you're on the paint bucket when you go to fill in. Okay, so I'll do a select, deselect, and that's my complex motif, which should repeat in an interesting way. So I'm going to do edit, define new pattern. So I've got a new pattern added to my possible patterns that I can put in. So I've already opened up an image here that is 220 by 220 millimeters. So because this one is 20 by 20, by choosing 220, it means I'll get 11 squares across and 11 squares down. So I should get a stripe down the center as Vasarely does. So if we go on to the layers, make sure you're on this layer and the effects, and we will add a pattern overlay. and I will choose the pattern that I have just made, which is this one. And it's already gonna go at 100%, so I should get 11 like I planned. Okay, so at this stage you could save it to make sure you don't lose anything. File, export as JPEG, turn up the quality. So at this point we've got an image that we can work with and we can make some adjustments to. So I would recommend that you save it. Okay, so remember to rasterize the layer so that you can do stuff to your work. So we'll right click on the dark area of the layer and we will say rasterize layer, and now this appears flattened on here. You could actually save it at this point instead. It's probably a better point to save it. So file, export as JPEG, and then that will be saved and you can open that up and work on it whenever you want to.